Welcome to the Raw Preview. We are the Dudley Boys of WhatCulture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to look ahead to Raw tonight. Just a couple of Raws before the Elimination Chamber.
Yes. Can't remember anything on this card. I don't know if that's a bad sign. But I did saw an Adam Pearce video yesterday where he ran down everything, and I've already forgotten it. And I was like, oh, that's nice that there's all this stuff arranged. It was mainly because I'd seen it quote to it because he shouted out Chris Bay. Oh, that's a nice thing to do.
Oh, that's nice.
But then, yeah, as a result, that's probably why I was waiting for that, and the card just washed over me. But I thought, well, at least they've advertised stuff, I suppose. I'll get this out of the way early because Sidge will like it. I'm just not that impressed with large portions of the WrestleMania build still. I am a seal for WWE. As soon as they give me a match graphic and they've actually booked something, like, yes, look at that. Vegas aesthetics. Look at the Gunther and Jey Uso. They're in playing cards. I love it, but I want some things formalized, and I want a sense of direction that isn't just rooted in this compromise that we keep talking about. This, well, if that happens, that means that's happened, and if this happens, that means they have to go with them. And I quite enjoyed SmackDown. Shame Road Dogg's going to ruin that, but I quite enjoyed SmackDown. It just feels like
everyone's holding their breath until March 3rd, don't they?
A little bit.
A change on the weekend.
That's me, bated breath Jones over here.
And I can accept it as a build to Elimination Chamber because that card's looking pretty cool and it's in a stadium, so it needs to. But yeah, I would have liked a little bit more WrestleMania. It hasn't let me convince that everything's actually taken care of. It makes me think they're still having the chats, still trying to make up their mind. There's still conversations to be had between certain key players. And
what, we're 60-odd days away from Mania?
Yeah, there's a chamber to get through, but it's a work. It should be known what's happening and why and where. And I don't know, I'm not totally convinced that it is. That's been the best thing about this run, is the constant trust in all the process. It's not just that, it's a million things I spoke of. It's not just things you like, it's the idea that, well, the thing you just liked is actually accept that thing that you will also like. And I haven't had that feeling much in 2025.
How you feeling about Raw tonight?
Ambivalent. No, I don't really care. I would be lying to you all if I pretended otherwise. WrestleMania brackets general. Yeah, until this picture's clearer, I can't really add anything else to that picture. Wasn't there a report the other week, and this one's vaguely more interesting to talk about than some matches on Raw where 80% of it will play out to mausoleum silence. A report that there are people, yeah, I love this. There are people who believe CM Punk should be added to Cody Cena, if anything.
There were people, yeah.
There were people.
And
CM Punk is smart. He's very smart. He's very much, I know he's doing it to build his inevitable interaction with John Cena in Elimination Chamber, for example, but he's been given it the very subtle, if you notice, from one hand waving in front of the other. What he's actually referencing is you can't see me. John Cena's old gesture.
People have seen it. They're in promo of the year Canada every week. Everybody's watching this. Check the numbers on the YouTube videos. They know what you're talking about.
Okay.
You can see them everywhere.
Okay.
Massive.
Okay. Yeah. Stand up for something.
Not quite as good on promos as Drew McIntyre last year, though, was it?
Can we talk about that instead?
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. If you've somehow missed it, right? The Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards dropped on Friday, and mine and Hamflett's very cynical take, very cynical read on it is that, look, I don't want this to be, Drew McIntyre couldn't possibly win on his own merits because he was genuinely very, very good on the microphone.
Year of his life promo-wise.
Year of his life promo-wise. He was so good on the microphone that a lot of what he said, or at least some of what he said, has ended up now as part of the wrestling lexicon. I prayed for this, and it happened. Yes, I understood. He's taken it slightly from that. I used to pray for times like these sort of thing. Like, it's not it's a spin on something that was known, but his spin on it has become wrestling for, I don't know, if a great match gets announced or whatever, or someone gets signed.
Still image of him as he's about to deliver it because he's.
I prayed for this and it happened. But it's just very funny how, yes, that was great. And he was pretty damn great throughout the year. He was the best part of that CM Punk program, if anything. Even though, literally everything CM Punk's ever done has been better than Drew's in terms of stories and all the rest of it. But it's just funny how, of all collectives, the one base has... But that's not CM Punk. Let's give it a Drew.
Did he come in like top 5? Punk?
I think he just got on the peripheral of the top 5.
To get out some of these because they were very
That's
fun.
not promos. 5th, if anything.
I love best
I mean,
promoter.
I've got PDS, but the guy's amazing.
I love best promoter. I love the stubbornness.
Yes.
Like that,
so,
that's good stuff.
Again, this is more interesting than tonight's Raw. So they also awarded Nick Khan as best promoter. Not Levesque. I'm surprised, honestly.
Best booker, to be fair, is fair. Best booker was Triple H, which would explain why the best TV show was
AEW Dynamite.
That's right, as booked by Triple H and Nick Khan, correct?
Indeed. I will say that if my read on this was 100% correct in my cynicism, come on, guys, next year, start a little grassroots campaign right here on this Raw Preview podcast. Get Paul Heyman, Booker of the Year. Well, he does the Bloodline, so
If anything.
it's all him, if anything. Get him as Booker of the Year to really show him. Really show him.
It'll be Road Dogg by then, man. SmackDown goes in this it outranked Raw in this Show of the Week thing, so that it's Road Dogg SmackDown now. He could win it. He could win it all.
Give it a Road Dogg.
The DOGG gets Booker of the Year.
Just stick it to Big Nose, huh? Give it a Road Dogg.
Yeah, Feud of the Year, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
Thank you, Drew.
But then also, worst match of the year, 4th place, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
It was poor. It was a bit of a laughing
SummerSlam
stock
had a
as
bad
well.
night in the...
That's because it was a bad
awards.
show.
Only for people with bad taste. I'm not even defending that one. I liked it, but it was all story stuff. It's not for Observer readers. That
Yeah, and it was bad.
CM Punk
The
ranked.
main event was bad. Drew versus...
main event was a Turkerino.
So was Drew.
No, Punk. You're incorrect on
I don't even
Drew.
think Punk liked it, though, Punk Whisperer. So.
Rhea and Liv was good.
Good near fall doesn't make a good match.
Punk and Drew was solid, but they're going to have Trilogy of the Year, so you don't want to blow your beans in the first one.
Well, Okada and Omega blew their beans, and I blew my beans for them, and they managed to expand on its brilliance every step of the way, some might say.
Good with the words, but not so good with the numbers. That was a quadrilogy, Sidge. Totally different game. Come on.
If anything, though, they would have if anything, if with yet more matches to go through, that they would really have,
No, different mindset, different needs.
different quality level, what some might say. So they'll make excuses for the apparently. Is he called? Hang on, is CM Punk's nickname here best in the world, or is it? We'll just talk the first match and then save the best of till later, or is he saved the best of till later in the world? Because as far as I'm concerned, his catchphrase and his his little nickname there is best in the world.
What are we going by? Because if it's Observer, it's like 4th best in the world or something, isn't it? So
I'm just saying.
What are we judging here?
I'm judging the first match with its poor quality that I'm not even convinced CM Punk liked. So. I'm just
The
saying.
bracelet stuff.
Punk ranked.
A lot of people consider that one of the most disgusting promotional tactics of the year, but I like the bracelet.
Did that get in? Did that get right?
Did it? I think so. Could be wrong. There was some really weird
Pussy.
This wrestling's gone so dark, with the likes of the Saudi Arabia deal, the cloud that is Vince McMahon that hangs over WWE. That that award.
WWE itself named the lawsuit, of course.
Yeah, that award.
The bracelets always.
That once was one thing where it would be it's been a relatively quiet year, but that was a bit ugly that they paired with that company or whatever. Now it's just a mix of genuinely dark things like that. Sex trafficking lawsuit, company is named in. A deal that continues till 2028. That'll continue past that as well. And it's just because it's obviously people that subscribe to the server. That wrestler I don't like. Equal bad.
Some really interesting stuff in there. Worst gimmick 2024, obviously Learning Tree.
Learning Tree.
5th worst though, Timeless Tony Storm, who also won Best Gimmick. So
I mean, to be fair, it's divisive.
She divides the audience up, doesn't she? So does Chris Jericho though, because Like, he didn't win worst wrestler or anything, did he? So
No.
Worst gimmick, but not worst. So if anything, it's on Big Bill.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dragging it all down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Punk finished 5th in terms of on the old stick, I think it was. Yeah.
Solid.
Best on interviews, 5th CM Punk, 4th Will Ospreay, 3rd Hangman Page, 2nd The Rock, number 1 Drew McIntyre. And if you combine the numbers for Raw and SmackDown, they still don't equal the votes for Dynamite being the best weekly show.
Yeah.
And the Young Bucks beat Fraxiom as Tag Team of the Year.
And they did. Can we talk about that?
He has a load of bollocks, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, we'll talk about the truth. We should have done this as a separate pod, you know. Right. Here's the thing about Fraxiom versus the Young Bucks, okay? I don't think it's this big disgrace or nothing. Fraxiom peak at about that 4-star level. The Young Bucks, in their match against Sting and Darby, have done something completely unforgettable. That if Nathan Fraser can ever do anything to that magnitude in his life, he'll have had an incredible career. Young Bucks versus Meltzer and Fletcher at Grand Slam, better than anything Fraxiom did.
Versus Meltzer and Fletcher.
Ospreay and Fletcher.
Right up there.
Right up there. What does that mean? They had the second match of Private Party. Considering where Private Party went, considering what Private Party were doing before, an individual masterpiece performance for that ages. It doesn't get enough respect because Ospreay and Danielson preceded it. And for the first half of the match, the fans were completely dead. But that latter match with FDR was better than anything Fraxiom did.
You saw me on this on Friday.
These people do not watch NXT, so it's all opinion based at the end of the day. Fraxiom had a lot of really good matches, where they were the best part of it, 100 times out of 100 by orders of magnitude. But I still think the Bucks, they're the creative is that when you think about Young Bucks 2024, you'll think, waistcoats and TK drivers. Their catalogue, considering they went to be checked out, worst year of their run creatively, have the slowed down. I mean, they're brilliant. I would still put them as the tag team of the year for me. It's a dearth of options elsewhere.
I was thinking about this on Friday. We went through this exact thing in the office. Sidge ran that sales pitch, and I was like, actually, you're right. I think I agree. Match on match on match on match. And then I was thinking about it afterwards because obviously the awards ended up getting loads of traction on Twitter over the weekend and stuff. And there's definitely something too, because I initially had that emotional response. I was like, it's Fraxiom's year. Like, there's no doubt. And then, that conversation comes up and it's like, these matches, these stack up. Most definitely. And then in a lot of cases, surpass them. It's not been fun to live in the Young Bucks world at all. No. So you're not spending time with them as an act mentally like you are. Like we have been certainly with Fraxiom. You don't committing any emotion to them at all until the very moment of the match and then the immediate aftermath when you talk about the match as we do. And I remember those Dynamite reviews specifically where the two TV bangers, and I'd forgotten the ladder match from last year, but then, the Sting match sticks out and stuff. Yeah. But that was it. Like, there was so little emotional investment in the Young Bucks that it was so easy to forget about every single match Sidgwick has listed there, versus a lower ceiling for Fraxiom, but far more fun watching them, say, week to week, or the development, or the tension and the nearly splitting, and then the amigo and all. I love hanging out with Fraxiom. I feel nothing for the Young Bucks creatively, and it does kind of skew your view of it. And I think the Observer audience, to their credit or the detriment, but to their credit or the detriment, pick both ways, are always going to lean on the memory of the match, like strictest of all, I suppose. The memory of that match, they will keep a spreadsheet or a mental spreadsheet at very least of there was this and this and this and this and this, and it just won't. Even if it was on Raw, even if Fraxiom stuff was on Raw, it still necessarily wouldn't click with them in a way that those proper Young Bucks classics did. And they'll continue. Again, the Young Bucks can have a year just like last year's, where you kind of feel nothing for them week on week. But if they post 5 matches as good as that, they'll win it again.
Yeah, as they should, mate.
Disagree. Right, let's look ahead to Raw tonight. What? You can't do that. Let's look ahead to
wrestler's music playing when he says disagree. Well, no, that's the last. We're going to Raw's rolling on.
I disagree.
Here you go.
I disagree. Reginald.
I have a little surprise for the two of you, though, because there's the return of a game right now in the Raw preview.
It's time to play the game! Time to play a game! Ha 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 ha!
Can you guess the WWE copy? Because tonight it is the final qualifiers for the Elimination Chamber, just if you're unaware. Already qualified for the men's Elimination Chamber match. John Cena didn't really qualify, but still. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and Damian Priest. More on that on the SmackDown review later on today. In the women's, it is Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Naomi. But final qualifiers tonight. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. Thank you for asking. Final qualifiers for tonight. It is someone who's probably en route to the main roster. Roxanne Perez, Sidge, versus Raquel Rodriguez. And it's Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. Fairly obvious to see who goes through probably out of both of those matches. But can you guess the WWE copy for, effectively, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, and I suppose a little bit, Roxanne Perez versus Raquel Rodriguez.
So how we're doing this then? Are you going to read a sentence and then let us fill in the blank?
Ooh. Yeah.
Do it like that so I've got half a chance, mate.
I'm not going to say how many words I'm blanking.
Okay,
here.
That's fine.
Okay, it just reads, Seth freaking Rollins blanks with Finn Balor for Elimination Chamber berth. B-E-R-T-H, not B-I-R-T-H, by the way.
Resumes hostilities.
Oh, good guess.
I was going to say relives history.
Reignites conflict.
No, dear, that's wrong.
I'll give you a clue. Think of someone who's recently been released by WWE, their name, who has been very good on social media in terms of handling this and utilizing it.
Okay.
They duke it out.
Button. Seth freaking Rollins dukes it out with Finn Balor for an Elimination Chamber berth.
Disappointingly generic. I want it to be like specifically weird in that only in WWE way.
Just suggests it's going to be this like gritty little fist fight between these two.
I remember what you did to me 9 years ago.
They just have the most like patterned exchange of moves, sling blade, burn it down.
Falcon arrow.
Yeah.
I suppose I do like the fact that whoever's writing this copy kind of gives up. So they go, Seth freaking Rollins dukes it out with Finn Balor for Elimination Chamber berth. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez blank for Elimination Chamber spot.
Clash.
No.
Say the sentence again, mate.
Roxanne Perez, it's just one word. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez blank for Elimination Chamber spot.
What did you say?
Clash.
Fight.
No, dear, that's wrong.
3 letters.
Vi.
AJ Styles returns to the ring to battle dirty Dominik Mysterio, and Penta takes on Pete Dunne. So they've given up as well with that sort of thing. But yeah, with the men's and women's qualifiers, Seth's got to be in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Seth, and it's going to be a pretty 3 1/4 star match for which I will feel absolutely nothing. You've got to, but wait, hang on. There's something very, very interesting, and you've got a really good pitch on this, Hamflett, have you not?
Have I? What, this match?
You think there's going to be a call back?
Oh, right. Check this out, Wilbourn. Yeah, you went in further up. Yeah. Try this on for size.
Okay.
Seth Rollins and Finn Balor maybe wrestling to the floor. Rolls rolled on, perhaps. But here in the UK, fade down, fade straight back up. They're still fighting on the floor. Seth Rollins picks up Finn Balor in a powerbomb position. But he's not going to powerbomb on the floor. No. He's going to do a running buckle bomb. But there's no buckles on the floor. He's going to buckle bomb him into the barricade.
That's what injured him.
You got it, mate. They might do that.
That's a great shout.
That's Finn on the old shoulder ski.
9 years ago. 9.
Is it? 9?
9.
They've called back to it in prior feuds.
Yeah, they've had an entire feud.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
We've done it. We've done it all.
7 years after.
I've seen everything.
9 years.
Yeah.
Of them two just being into mix. What are we doing here?
Seth's winning. Roman returns at the chamber to screw Seth specifically.
Do it.
And to at least take him out of the match.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously not cleared technically at the moment. But yeah, Seth's got to be in order to be.
And help Punk win the chamber, collecting his favour from Paul Heyman in the process.
To go back to where the Observer discussion started, Sidge's point about how on earth a different CM Punk triple threat made its way to the internet's rumour mills.
Many people are saying it.
Lots of people.
Many people are saying it.
Let's just...
Everyone's saying that.
Just to be clear, both aren't great. But everybody just pounced on her. Oh, this is like marginally better. So like we'll take that triple threat because we think we like it more than like him mixing in with Cena and Cody is better than him mixing in with the Shield because there's genuine lore with Punk and Cena, and Punk and Cody sell you on just how amazing their match would be, and you just want to look at a version of it, so you'll have that. It felt in the moment like just somebody trying to sound something different out because the first pitch wasn't looking so good, Al. And neither are great. And that's another problem as well. Like, neither are... I tweeted about this on Friday, and then in the replies, there was a lot of people who really want Cena Cody. And I thought that was a worthwhile discussion because I think it's easy to look at the weekly TV and look at every time Punk and Cody come together. And my argument was, feels like the biggest match in wrestling. And both times so far, Triple H has booked the biggest match in wrestling for the main event of WrestleMania. He's listened to the pipe bam, and it's what's the biggest match? That's what should be there. A lot of people feel like that's John Cena. And I think there's an interesting conversation that we had there. Cena has got that. We're not talking about a Randy Orton return. No. We're not talking... John Cena is different gravy. Love him or hate him in terms of the status that he can command for this last WrestleMania. And I think that's a conversation maybe some people don't entertain because of just how cool Punk and Cody feels. I want it more than any match there is, but I was able to sort of see that like line of thinking for John Cena. And as a result, throwing Punk in there, it will feel big on the night. It will. Triple threats can feel big, but they almost never don't feel like a compromise. And it's going to be hard. You'll almost have to stop and talk yourself into having a good time rather than just them doing it for you. And that's old WWE mindset of like thinking, well, this is the match we're stuck with. Time to try and get myself hyped for it rather than just the match itself doing the work.
Yeah. Here's, I just like pressing the button, to be honest.
It's time to play the game!
There's one answer to this question, right? And it's the Shield. Is there ever been a triple threat ever where you're like, I need to see this as a triple threat match? Maybe. You know, this is years ago now, and it's still like not the best version of the thing. But to my ultimate like fury, Rock Austin Triple H at Survivor Series 99 was like, oh my God, these three.
Yeah.
But never usually.
No.
There's never been like, oh God, please do the triple threat. Please do the triple threat. Just never happens. Never freaking happens. And here's another thing I want to say as well. January 5th. If you're a WWE fan, that feels amazing. God, yes! Netflix tomorrow. WrestleMania. There's two cards that both look amazing. Which one is it going to be? That feeling's evaporated.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see because I do get that. Like, we were talking on WrestleCulture. I was like, does John Cena need the big match at WrestleMania? I know it's his last WrestleMania, but yeah, you're right. The reaction, there is people who want to see it. And just because I'm saying, oh, well, you could do, Cena having a big match at SummerSlam. Well, the argument from them could be, right, we can do Punk in a big match at WrestleMania next year. We can't do that with Cena, and Punk you could do Punk Cody at SummerSlam, for example.
There are people that feel passionately, and I might disagree, but I hear it entirely, that feel like, well, no, it's his last WrestleMania, so you have to go as big as you possibly can. And I can actually find understanding of every single one of those arguments. But this is, and just now, here's an example of us like compromising on something, and that's how this card can end up being that way. I'm going to do...
I really like the unpredictability of it all going to the chamber.
Well, I don't think I do. I think I want to have been able to enjoy seeing these matches come together and then actually feel like they're coming together. There's one, we'll probably get to it on this, there's one unpredictable thing regarding Chamber that I do quite like, but in terms of this main event picture, I would have rather it felt a bit more clear by now, shall we say. They've done, through this, and maybe some of this has been by design, they've done a very effective job of that Chamber feeling like Royal Rumble 2 for the Rogers Centre. It's for Cody's belt, so it's like the biggest match. It's loaded with stars or ex-world champions they can promote as like Logan Paul and Damian Priest are what they are, but like Damian Priest at least is an ex-world champion. Logan Paul is this otherworldly figure that kind of almost doesn't belong, and that's his value. They have, and Punk and Cena at the very top of it are these two that you would have had as like, say, a final two in a Royal Rumble, and they've done it again with the Chamber. That will be very hot. And I don't know what the gate is for it currently, but it'll do what, they've got whatever it was, 40,000 open for it, and it'll sell those tickets. So it's been very effective at selling this chamber as an event almost on par with the Royal Rumble in terms of importance. But it doesn't feel like it's been... The example I would give as to when they did that the last time, but you could map out what happened, it happened, and everybody felt like they got to win, was when Edge won the Royal Rumble in 2010. Shawn Michaels had lost his opportunity to fight world champion The Undertaker, and Chris Jericho was the world heavyweight champion. Or Chris Jericho could become the champion in the chamber, and it was like, Shawn Michaels is going to gift the belt to Chris Jericho to set that match up and get his Undertaker match. And it played out exactly like that. They had put the pieces in place for those things to happen. It was still shocking that you were watching it take place, but it was kind of clear that was going to be the route they would go. We should be talking about this in those terms. You should be able to see, well, that's how Punk gets to Cody, or that's how Cena gets there, and it's still great, and it's still like that triple threat with the Shield still, for me, feels like the Punk match. The Rumble felt like, I'd said it in the moment, said it on the review. I'm watching those three on the floor. I'm like, Seth, fair play to you. You've done a Punk thing there, and you've somehow fought your way into getting what you want, and I kind of have to begrudgingly respect it, but I don't want it.
27,000 tickets distributed for Chamber.
They've got some to shift. That's
3,500 left. They're
only setting up for 30.
31,150.
You hate the fire.
Give that one a swerve, thank you, sir. There's a bit of a lack of ambition in it. The old Sky Dome ski.
Is it the Sky Dome?
Yeah.
Maybe they bit off a little bit more than they could chew, huh?
Some lollipop you got there, Fed.
It's all good stuff, man.
The other qualifier,
Apart from the Fed, it's on a decline.
Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel in there for Liv.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's the match, bro?
Roxanne versus Raquel.
Roxanne's winning that.
Well, you would say that, Sidge.
Why would I say that? I'm not
for
desperate for nothing.
You want this to be a confirmed call-up?
Just so I can drink at work.
She's just... Business concluded in NXT. WWE Raw is my new best friend.
Yes.
So a recipe for an iron brew margarita.
Oh, I like the sound of
I
that.
think a spicy iron brew margarita.
Less so now. I don't need to.
You ever had a spicy iron brew pop? You know, when they release iron brew hot.
No.
Nice. It's nice. It comes out as a special.
Iron brew's one of my latest obsessions.
Oh, really?
It's the absolute best.
We were talking about
It's
this
not the
other
best,
day,
but it feels like the best because I have fixations.
Iron brew, another good sugar-free variant is iron brew. Extra.
Yes.
Raspberry Ripple is my favourite, a spin-off of the Iron Brew franchise.
Never tried it. Don't care to.
News agents in the interchange has like 2 or 3 different bottles.
I wanted to know where I could get it. I went to the right man.
I look in news agents at Pop. I do. It's the thing I like.
So I like looking up my next bag of coffee. Not necessarily gonna go just like one for the future. You do the same with Pop in there.
Yeah. Like
Buys it for a week, lets it sit.
independently owned news agents. Like don't need to waste some time on spars. They've got like set things they have to like, you know, it's like anything
Standards and practices.
As the Tesco's, whatever, standards and practices, but independently owned ones, you know they're getting in a crate of 24, just see how it goes and marking up the price times 2, and I'm paying for all 24 cans. So
Here comes Hamflett. It's our version. It's the British version of our, guess we've got all my money on hooks or whatever it is this week.
Should have bought too much Mountain Dew.
we're going to put this crate in the fridge. No need, I'll just take it off. Thank you.
You ever tried that?
What's that?
You see, you know, you got your iron brew. Everyone knows what's going on back there. I will take that off
I
your
should
hand.
ask what's out the back, shouldn't I? I like Asda have offers on at the moment where you can get there just a slab of 24 cans for like 7 to 8 quid. But it's obviously it's like Dr. Pepper Zero or Pepsi Max Cherry, the ones that I've been going for of late. But yeah, it's just...
I've done one of them, but like I can't drive, so I've had to carry home 20.
It's really hard work, and you feel it on
work.
your shoulders the next day.
£6 though.
It's a good deal.
It's unbelievable,
Yeah, it's
Jeff.
right.
But here's what happens though. Oof, there's loads of them left. Sounds like the beginning of Blue Monday in my house when that goes on.
And it's like you're thinking...
Ding, 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 ding.
And if it's,
Top
Blue
20
Rap-
song of all time, that. Blue Monday, top 20 song of all time. It's unbelievable.
Lyrics or no lyrics for you?
Lyrics.
All right.
How does it feel? That one.
Because that's like Blue Monday 88 or something, isn't it? And the purists would just want the 7-minute no vocals version. The one that New Order lost money on because it cost them more to print than they were selling it for.
Did it?
Yeah.
Good stat.
It's a great vocal performance.
It is.
How does it feel?
And that's it. That's
exactly
there
how
it is.
That's exactly how it goes.
We also have AJ Styles.
And I still find it so hard. That's the best part of the song.
Me and Sidge on a Q&A the other week were asked about 80s music, and Sidge made a point, and it stuck with me because I'll like stick a playlist on or some stuff, and it's just like, this isn't just about like enjoying the music, which I might be. It's about enjoying the vision of the world through which the music is made, because it isn't that world anymore, and it just makes you so sad. It makes you so depressed, mate. Like, you know why this song couldn't exist anymore? Because nobody feels this way anymore.
Yes.
It's
Like,
bad. It's real bad.
You could not record a song like Everybody Wants to Rule the World anymore because it's so sincere. It's got this sense of hope and the skyscraping chorus. It would just be considered, it probably was considered by, like the subcultures, like really, really corny, but people could just at face value listen to that and think, well, yeah, I'm going to go do great guns in my career, in my life for this song. They couldn't make a film like Big Trouble in Little China anymore without people thinking, oh, it's corny or it's like some kind of pastiche of a different time. No, you could be a hero once upon a time. God damn it. Life is in it. It is. It really is. You just have to ignore it for your own sanity.
That's what we've got, like, Raw for.
But no.
Sorry. / your distractions and obsessions. Mm-hmm. There you go. But my obsession is still this. So we're all right.
One thing that might cheer you up is AJ Styles' in-ring return. He's taken on the best person he can.
He's taken on all the critics that were coming from my road dog. Don't be talking about my freaking road dog. It was Vince McMahon.
My Jesse.
Do not talk about the D-O-double-G.
He's taking on Dirty Dominik Mysterio tonight.
To be fair, right, AJ Styles, I didn't anticipate the sort of...
I wonder why AJ Styles and Road Dogg get along. Have they gotten gone?
What's their shared interest? Tell me more about Desert Storm, D.O.G.
That's probably one of the last places I'd want to be.
What, Desert Storm?
No, obviously, dickhead.
Look really hard.
In a room with them two.
Oh, God, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Piss themselves at like Kid Rock's stand-up set at the Hall of Fame. Body slam a Democrat. How does he do it? How the does he do it?
He wasn't no fancy. He wasn't afraid. He come out and said it.
Democrats ain't wrestlers. They left-leaning people. You can't body slam them.
The pussies too.
Ball with the ball. Anyway, surprising groundswell of support for AJ Styles in this babyface run. I think people welcomed his return at the Rumble because it was his old music, and he was like, "Why's it blue?" He did on one of them Vault videos where it's like backstage at the Rumble. He's like, "I think people are gonna like it tonight. My old music. It's the same gear I wore when I debuted. It wasn't AJ. Like, you got the wrong trousers. Wallace and Gromit, mate. Like the." But nonetheless, he's kind of embraced what people loved about AJ Styles and gone away from jacked goth 2024. This coat is hard on my ginormous arms, and I can't do my pose no more. So like he's gone back to that. And last week on Raw, to be fair, received as this like homecoming hero. There was a sense. We talk about John Cena. There was a sense of, oh, God damn it, let's get AJ Styles on that bloody WrestleMania stage. And he still means something to me. I didn't see it coming, and it feels like that's going to be the direction. It feels like there's something in the works for AJ Styles
Braun,
at WrestleMania. Probably Braun.
3-way with Penta.
Another 3-way. All right. Triple threat City Jones WrestleMania. Like, the Braun thing looks good in your head, doesn't it? So they'll probably make it a 6-way with 2 lads.
Where it all began, again, the raging climax, the ultimate thrill ride. Triple Threat City Jones. All the taglines.
That's what it actually says in the Welcome to Vegas sign, isn't it? Yeah. Triple Threat City Jones.
We'll say AJ Styles could have a good face when he's reacting to Dominik Mysterio in this match. What the frickin' cheating? Could be good.
Yeah.
Dom's a perfect opponent, isn't he?
Aye. He kicks his ass.
Yeah. You mentioned Penta there. He's taken on Pete Dunne. Senators.
So Penta's
Senator.
going to do the Zero
Did a
Miedo.
shoot senator there?
Yeah.
So just zone out instantly.
Zero Miedo is going to get his fingers broken.
Oh, yeah.
And a bunch of just Pete's on an offense. Penta made his comeback.
No one reacts.
God no. And
Have you seen the new T-shirt?
Pete Dunne's got a shirt.
Yeah. Nobody's B asterisk TCH. Nobody's Butch.
Ah.
It's like Wilbourn did the copy.
That's good stuff.
No, people say that all that, like, people say that, he's picked on, but he's nobody's Butch.
Got a Penta pitch for you.
Go on.
So, Chad Gable's gone on some expedition where he wants to master the dark arts of Lucha Libre.
Uh-huh.
And they may have dropped elements of that already.
He's had to work with AAA.
Yeah. It's like, well, you're not going to find it there, mate. But the idea is obviously he goes away. He's told American mate, get on with winning all your titles. I'll be back soon enough. I think, because obviously all that started with him losing to Penta.
Ah, yeah.
So that was how that kind of all began. And it was Penta's big debut. And the idea was obviously give somebody in Chad Gable the perfect Penta match. But they've also done something with Chad off the back of that. I think Chad Gable does go away. I think he talks a good game or something. He says he's like, they show some vignette. I don't know. And if the dates line up quite nicely, he returns to Raw and he says, I've done it. I've cracked it. I've mastered the arts. He name drops a few people that he's been learning things from, whatever. Yada, yada. I said, the embarrassment of what happened to me this year with Penta is certainly not going to happen again. And I'm ready to prove it now. My Chad Gable Open Luchador Challenge. And Ray Phoenix answers the challenge. And it closes that Chad Gable loop. And Ray Phoenix kicks his ass all over again. And that's your kind of formal, well, we've done the 6 things we want to do with Penta as a singles guy and flogged a ton of merch.
Yeah.
Get the Lucha Brothers together. And that's how you kind of
I like that.
tie all that. I think that's how that all gets tethered together. So in the meantime, Penta and Ray versus a New Day at WrestleMania, seeing as it got chucked off the Netflix show.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, feels relatively straightforward, this. I know they're doing stuff with, Ludwig Kaiser as well with Penta, but Pete Dunne shouldn't be beating him.
No, God, no.
There's also a number one contenders match tonight for the women's IC title held by Lyra Valkyria. It's Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile's called a shot already, so it feels...
Why do wrestling bookers do this all the freaking time?
A lot, innit? Yeah,
because she beats, who's Susie? Ivan Dakota Kai. She beats Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Then she might beat Lyra Valkyria.
there has been a... Let's trumpet the small wins while we're having a go at the big L's currently in WWE. There's been a little bit of an upswing in the quality of the women's wrestling on Raw, I would say, over the last few weeks. It's not always reflected in the crowds, so you'd be fooled by thinking, nobody cares about this. But the match quality has been there, or here or there.
Oh yeah, the tag match last week I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah. We've kind of been at pains to put over Liv Morgan as a way to say, look, the obvious improvement, you have to acknowledge it. Dakota Kai is somebody else I think has featured in some decent matches since she's been back. The quality might be all right here. And Ivy Nile, situationally, can be very entertaining, but she has these stumble bumble botch fest nights, and you kind of never know what you're going to get out of her. But Dakota Kai basically has to play experienced hand in getting Ivy Nile through it, because she probably will win. It's one of them things, I don't know why they do this booking device, because if she doesn't win, you already had her as a bit of a loser, and it's well, all right, but if she challenges the IC title and maybe take it seriously, calls a shot, fails, she's worse off than she was before.
Are they doing this deliberately, do you think? Maybe this is more hope than expectation, to be Mania will do the big double IC thing of, I know I've mentioned just AJ as well, but Sheamus finally does it and Dakota finally does it, maybe on different nights or the same night.
I guess you need to sell that. There's no sense currently that you don't even get it with Sheamus really at the moment, but there's no sense within the stories that Dakota is specifically rooting for this title just because she lost the tournament final. What would be quite nice is if they're able to arrive at a point where Lyra Valkyria is defending her IC belt on the same night, on the Raw after Elimination Chamber, because Rhea's defending hers against Io Sky, and there's this idea that Damage Katara could be draped in gold by the end of it. So if you could have those two things arrive for the same night, that's a big hook for that post-Elimination Chamber Raw. Rio and Io Sky is a big match, and they've told you, it's a couple of weeks from now, significant WrestleMania implications, more so now that Charlotte Flair's picked Tiffany Stratton. The women's chamber is for Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley's then got to get through Io Sky. Wait a second. I think we get to a triple threat out of that.
Who have you got, Sidge?
For what?
Ivy Nile, Dakota Kai.
Ivy Nile.
Yeah. Quick word before I get to the thing I'm most looking forward to tonight.
Because preview.
I was long enough. Got the ads in.
Never long enough.
There's the usual Cody Rhodes set to appear, Jey Uso obviously set to appear, and then I read Sami Zayn. Now I don't know if that's going to be Sami Zayn. Obviously is there, but we saw him on SmackDown, and there was allusions to him and Kevin Owens and Toronto, obviously, and Elimination Chamber. What do you make of all that? Some people overreacted somewhat to this.
Well, can I just shock you? I like this, but I, again, have seen why people are overreacting, and I put it a little bit down to WWE's lack of clarity of vision with this WrestleMania card. One of the things that people have overreacted to and panicked about, justifiably so, is Elimination Chamber, but what about WrestleMania? And then people go, oh, guys, we've got Randy Orton for a triple threat. So there is a building sense of panic that everything is not quite as good as
Triple threat City Jones, everyone knows that.
Yeah, that's the subtitle. Everything is not as good as it could have been, or at least looked on paper a while ago. I actually don't mind this. I think when we talked about it ages back, I was like, well, Elimination Chamber, like that building in Canada, they will want that.
Yeah, they would have wanted this more than Mania. I was thinking this.
That building will mean something to them. They're Montreal rather than Toronto, but it's a big country. It's the Drew McIntyre Cardiff thing to an extent.
Yes.
However, as like the big, massive Canadian stars of this generation, this drum I keep beating about, we need to kind of talk about these two in the way that we talk about Brett and Shawn in terms of match quality and lasting impact, because the runs are longer as well. Like, these are the two, and they're both getting the biggest bunch of flowers that WWE could hand them by putting this at Chamber. Equally...
Not officially confirmed either.
Well, Sami Zayn not being cleared means they could do the fight segment that leads to the match at WrestleMania. The straight-up match could lead to a sticked-up rematch at WrestleMania where they do the Steen, Generico, Jesus Christ, what are they doing to each other? And Kevin Owens has got to raise his own stakes from what him and Cody did at the Royal Rumble. I'm not troubled by this.
There was another theory I saw, sorry to interrupt, there was another theory I saw where they do just blow it up at Elimination Chamber, but that's because they've got one eye on next year's WrestleMania. Sami wins the Saudi Rumble and targets Kevin Owens for the world title there, and they don't want to do 2 years back to back.
Sami winning the Saudi Rumble is already feels like the safest possible move for everybody involved, doesn't it? I mean, of course, then he probably isn't going to win Money in the Bank this summer.
Yes, fair.
I understood a lot of people pressing the panic button because I think there's a lot of WWE booking at the moment that if you are into all of
What
this...
would the panic button sound like?
Oh. He was brilliant on SmackDown, wasn't he?
SmackDown's Vic Joseph, that was
Such a nice surprise, that turn into SmackDown. There's our boy.
Well, he wouldn't normally be there.
I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, we'll check
Wednesdays,
that out.
isn't it? Wednesdays, I watch SmackDown for 3 hours on Netflix by choice because I don't have to review it, especially now that it's already been reviewed.
Strange, isn't it? He wouldn't normally be the substitute commentator on SmackDown, but Vic was different gravy. Yeah, a lot of people there was a bit of a backlash to the feeling that this is going to get announced and match graphicked up for Elimination Chamber. But I'll put that down to a lot of the people that just like, I'm one of them, that like this show and are not feeling particularly moved by the WrestleMania direction and the prospect that this match gets taken, another sentimental favourite, another for something else.
Another climactic match between two fierce rivals who are already over and have got a great dynamic, and there's two of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have one of those, please.
Because a rematch, again, we kind of talk about how a triple threat is a compromise. So too is a rematch.
My ass and lollipops in my mouth. That's just the kind of guy I am.
That's you've always said that way.
It's up Boogie Nights.
You should see it.
I need to watch it. Yeah.
It's the ultimate Wilbourn film you haven't seen, man. I'm telling you this.
How do you feel about this? I'm stressed about them not getting to Mania, aren't you?
No, I'm not actually. I'm really excited. I do want to just let this play out because it's a fantastic story that they've got over the years, obviously, and we don't know if they've gone, well, we'd rather do this in Canada than at WrestleMania or whatever, or I don't know. But I'm excited to see what happens next to them. And I love the back and forth again on SmackDown between Sami, very still going, my neck's buggered. Kevin Owens being like, I don't care. I'm going to kill you in Canada. I just love it. So wherever we get it, I don't really mind. But I'd like it at WrestleMania, obviously.
It's going to happen at WrestleMania. They're going to do some kind of angle at Elimination.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Just love let it play out back in the vernacular.
People overreacting. Oh no, why isn't Jacob Fatu in the chamber? Because they don't want to pin him to lose the chamber.
He was excellent on SmackDown.
The main event was sensational. It was so good.
SmackDown was good.
Again, a good. I'm sick and tired of bloody defending that show. Right, and one of the best things from SmackDown
Is this
as well.
the last talking point?
Yes, is the development in the Jade Cargill whodunit. Because
Oh,
Bianca
God, I
Belair-
saw this on Twitter, this.
class. Bianca Belair and
It's rubbish. It's kind of red
Disagree.
herring you do very early into a storyline if you actually care about it.
Bianca Belair and Naomi are on the warpath tonight, targeting, the number one contenders, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Possibly could factor into Roxanne Perez, obviously getting into the chamber, because someone disclosed some footage that seemingly solved the Jade Cargill whodunit.
It's a red herring, but it's the kind of thing you should have done weeks and months ago. How have they only procured this footage now? It's that WWE thing of these absolutely stupid storylines where it's like, oh, hang on, we had the footage, we just didn't know about it all. Oh, somehow got the footage. Why did you just get the CCTV? Why didn't you do that? Any good cop does that day one, like minute one. Right, let's get the CCTV, circle the perimeter.
Yeah,
that kind of
lollipop.
stuff. A lollipop. Get the CCTV, close off their perimeter, all the rest of it. You're meant to have fun with a storyline like this, even if it's stupid. It's like, the security footage that we somehow, every single in time, get 3 months into it when you could have just done it, like, get the CCTV.
I mean, they had Zoom and Enhance in 2002 because that's how we found out that the Triple H attack on Shawn Michaels was actually conducted by Triple H.
Yes. Oh!
So, but surely the idea of like, again, we've waited 3 months to get the CCTV when it's stupid and I hate it. I hate it so much. But this is the cinema company, so I have to, infer that's brilliant.
I have a theory about this, by the way.
Yeah, okay, you always do. You're meant to have fun with this.
Yeah.
Like the whole point is, it's a shame that we've tagged the wrong perp, and then you have like lots of red herrings and like think pieces and discussions. There are none of it. This sucks.
No, they have on SmackDown. They have said, it could be so-and-so because, and then someone has had to rule them out by saying, actually, I was doing a backstage interview with them at the time.
Yeah, it's not very good though.
Well, no, because you've not watched it, so you don't know.
I had to watch every Wednesday for 3 hours.
But also that my
every
theory
Wednesday
for
for
let
3
me f***ing talk. My theory for tonight, right, is
Oh, sorry about your Naomi gimmick, mate.
is my theory for tonight is it's Naomi that's released this footage. They didn't say we've got this footage. They said someone has sent us
How
this
does that
footage.
work? Is she a cop?
She's gone
She-
and
she
she's
works
gone and
security
she's
at the
gone and
arena.
got the footage, got rid of it so they
You never
couldn't
had
see
domain
it straight
frame
away.
six.
Sounds ridiculous to me.
She's gone and got the footage and then panicked because they've realized the net's closing in on Naomi. So I think that she's panicked and gone and pin it on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and there's going to be a further development with that tonight.
Sound theory as usual, Wilbourn. I
you.
just want to add to that.
It sounds ridiculous.
There's something occurring, or has been occurring with Jade Cargill. That's to answer Sidgwick's complaints of this otherwise brilliant story.
They've dropped it on off and on.
Yeah,
They have dropped it. Well, yeah.
Because they've told this story. They told it at the time. We picked it up at the time. Something has occurred in real life with Jade Cargill that they're not wanting to reveal, or she's not wanting, who knows, that required this write-off and has thus delayed certain elements of this story. Because if you recall, we picked up that Liv and Raquel were going to be a red herring perpetrator because they did the exact same thing to Rhea Ripley on NXT. They had decked her in that car park, and it was to write her off TV to build to War Games. And it happened right around the time we were like, so Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez attack people in car parks. So this is going to come up. They're going to be like, the finger's going to be pointed at them, and then they're going to rule themselves out because of whatever. There'll be something, and they'll prove themselves, we're little bastards, but we didn't do that. And it's going to factor. And now it's folded back into them having this tag through Ed, but it feels months past the point they should have revealed this. Like, I think everything we're watching now is
What's going on with bloody Jade Cargill?
what was supposed to happen,
I
but
don't know.
what the bloody hell is going on with Jade Cargill? That's ultimately, I think, where there's been delays and where this story has fallen flat is because, to Sidge's point, yes, there should have been loads more of this and this and this and this, but the big one they had planned was for this exact tag title match, probably in December or something?
Yeah.
And they've just never, or maybe in the immediate aftermath of Liv losing the title, or however that was going to play out with Liv and Rhea, I guess. She could have been a double champ, I suppose, but I'm sure that was where they were going to go. And nobody saying nothing about Jade Cargill, injured, healthy. She tweets all the time. Just ask her. Like, who tapped you? Like, I couldn't have noticing that you're buzzing for your friend Ricky Stark debuting. While I've got you.
Yeah.
Like,
While I've got you.
it's off. Something's a bit off there. Maybe that's a bit conspiratorial on my part, but it just feels strange that it does get dropped and picked up in this way when there were elements that were included in the story to make it make sense, and only now are we arriving back at that. I think like, again, if we knew more about Jade Cargill, we could say, oh, the Jade Bianca match is happening. The Jade Bianca Naomi three-way happening. Or is she not back at all, or not cleared, or God knows what, and are they going to try and run this tag title match at WrestleMania where Naomi's big plan is revealed, or what? And they use WrestleMania as a stage to reveal the payoff to this story, and Liv and Raquel end up getting the tag belts, and it's a kind of, it's Liv Morgan's own, actually, you kind of do warrant a big spot on this WrestleMania card this year, and here's what it's going to be. You win the tag belts with Raquel, and they do this big whodunit payoff as well, and here's your WrestleMania shock and awe and whatever. But it would all be helpful to speculate on this if we knew a bit more about the specifics of Jade Cargill's absence. Is that asking too much? Should we just embrace the work and just accept not knowing? I don't know. Like, it just
It doesn't feel like some grand master plan.
No,
it's just that they've been delaying it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out tonight.
it's gripping
Possibly,
either
maybe,
way, isn't
maybe
it?
not.
That's the thing.
What did he say?
It's gripping either way, isn't it? You're hooked.
It's great.
Let us know your thoughts ahead of Raw tonight in the comments or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, they can follow all four of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
follow Michael Sidgwick at
Sidgwick.
follow our brilliant producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
and you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts, the SmackDown review and the AW Grand Slam Australia review coming your way later on today. But for now, this has been the Raw Preview. My thanks to Hamflett, to Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.